Okay,
So,
Alexi.
hi everybody, and today we will close our whole series about Big Data SQL, and it's going to be fourth webinar for Big Data SQL. Today I pick up security topic, and thank you guys for your attention, and feel free to give us some feedback, what you want to know for regarding the Big Data SQL. We are going to repeat this series, and it would be really great if you could offer some particular topics which is interesting for you. Today, I'll talk about security. So, and as it became habitual for those seminars, I will start with quick reminder. So, first of all, I want to make sure that everybody understands that Big Data SQL doesn't bring something new on the storage layer. We just read data from either NoSQL databases or HDFS, Hadoop file system, and then proceed it on the processing layer. So, and it could be stay on the same line with tools such as MapReduce, Spark, Impala, Cloud Research, etc. So it's full processing engine, and we don't bring something new on the storage tier. On the database level, since 12.2, you will have new type of the external table, which you have to define, and this external table will link you to the HDFS. You will explain that on the HDFS, you do have some Hive table, which called somehow, and then you will query Oracle external table from Oracle database, which will be push scan on the Hadoop side. So what's going to happen when you open the database SQL editor like SQL plus SQL Developer, Perl SQL Developer Todd, and run the query? First, you jump to the name node and Hive metastore and define file locations, data structure, define splits, and then on the Oracle database you do planning. It's internal step, you could not influence on it, and run scan on the Hadoop side. You run smart scan on the every data node which installed Big Data SQL, and then ship back only filtered data, only data which match with your conditions, and then do final processing on the database side. You could apply Perl SQL, you could do join with database tables, so you could do some security stuff, and we will talk about last thing in my list today. So, and let's zoom Hadoop node and how it looks like. You do have data node, you do have some Big Data SQL server, which internally has two sub-processes. Smart Scan, which we run from Exadata, and external table services, which reads any type of the data, transform it into some structure, transform it into Oracle format. So you could read CSV file on HDFS, party file on HDFS, OC file on HDFS, Oracle NoSQL database, MongoDB, HBase. You read some split, which means piece of the data. For simplicity, let's think about this like about HDFS block, and then transform it into Oracle format and pass it on the Smart Scan. Then Smart Scan, it's exactly it's this piece matched with Exadata. It's exactly like an Exadata. You do filtering, and then rest of the data you ship towards the Oracle database. So, and what about security? What do we have for security with Big Data SQL? First of all, you have to keep in mind then, whenever you work with Big Data SQL, you could use Oracle BI, MicroStrategy, Tableau, whatever you want, any tool, you connect to the Oracle database. You connect to the Oracle database and then work with Hadoop cluster through the Oracle database. And you could have all Hadoop security features such as Kerberos, Sentry, HDFS encryption, data and rest encryption. So you could use all those features, and the keyword that for your application, it doesn't impact your application because you're working through the Oracle database. So if we are talking about security, it's like a golden rule for the Hadoop cluster. Enable Kerberos. It's like step number one, which you have to accomplish for protect your cluster. So, and Oracle database have to have a Kerberos ticket, and in current version you working on behalf of Oracle user, and in future version we will enhance this, and you will be able to choose to link different Oracle users with different Kerberos users. Today it's Oracle, so you're working on behalf of Oracle. And as soon as you get Kerberos ticket to Oracle, you could work with HDFS. But the greatest news that, especially for database folks, that you could continue work like you used to. For example, grant tables. You know, it's quite boring slide. I even don't know what to put here. I think many of you who was administering Oracle database know what is grant. So what is role? It's standard Oracle grant role mechanism. And also you could use more interesting and more advanced features like Oracle Data Redaction. And this feature allow you to redact data on the fly without any transformation. So for example, you have a table which contains very sensitive information like credit card numbers. Somebody from financial department have to see full credit card numbers. Somebody like a call center employee have to see only last 4 digits. And you could store data into Oracle or into Hadoop. You could store data in original format, so I mean full credit card numbers, and for some certain group of users show only last 4 digits. So, and I know that you don't have something like this with Hadoop. As far as I know, Hadoop ecosystem doesn't have tool which allow you to do data reduction on the fly. For example, if you want to implement this, you could do tokenizing. So in other words, transform your source data and duplicate it in tokenized format, and allow restricted users get access only on restricted data set. So in other words, you store in 2 times more data. Let me show you a quick example for data reduction and how you could use it. So for example, I have some customer table which stores information about my customers, and it has email. Let's consider email like sensitive data. So, and I initially query data over the table which doesn't have any security policy, and I get full email like lisa.elksin@el.cc. So then I create policy. It's quite easy. The good news about data reduction is that it has tons of pre-built policy. Pick up, for example, email is quite common use case, and I just reuse existing policy rather than write my own external regular expression. But the good news is that if you need, you could write your own regular expression over this data. So as soon as the email use case is quite common and it's quite popular, it takes only 2 PL SQL packages to run to. It takes only 2 PL SQL packages to apply these policies on my table. After this, I query my data and I observe that, in fact, he hide my my emails. So, but I store data in the single copy. So I don't do duplication data on the single copy. So another one great news, if I will need to do join, for example, with this masked data with some other masked or unmasked data by hidden column, I could do this, and I will have right results for this join. So, and second tasty features is virtual private databases, which allow you to show part of the table depend on the user who queries this data. So we could have single table and different user could query it. And depend on who are you, you could show either full table or small piece of the table or some certain partition or so. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine we have worldwide company which has customers all around the world. And we have Mark who are working in Sweden, and he has to see only Swedish customer. At the same point of time, we do have Jose who works in Mexico and have to see only Mexican customers. And we have one big table with all list of all our customers, which have to be available for super users. Virtual private database will help me to do implement this use case. So I don't show you full list of the PL SQL packages. So it's a bit more complicated rather than data reduction, but it's still easy. And after those 2 PL SQL packages, what you could observe, you connect like a mark. So first string mark, welcome one, connect, and select everything from this table. And we could find that Mark could query on the Swedish customer. And it's about 33,000. Then Jose connect to the database and query the data. And Jose could observe on the Mexican customers. I would like to pay your attention on the fact that we don't put anywhere predicate. It was done automatically, where predicate have been added automatically, and Mark could even don't guess that some other information exists in this table. So, and for example, if some super user will connect, he could find all the data. Like I connect like Big Data SQL, and I could see users from Slovakia, from Greece, from Costa Rica, from everywhere. I also would like to pay attention that you are working with HDFS data or NoSQL database data. So you could query NoSQL data or Hadoop data and apply these database policies. So this information, this C3 table which contains this information is on the HDFS. And so the same for data reduction. Whenever you query data in my previous example, this data reduction, you query data from HDFS. As well, you could store data into NoSQL databases. So, and the most important and most advantage piece of this feature that you don't need to do something with HDFS data. You just create policy on the database side, and here we go. You have all functionality, such as virtual private database could give you, or such as data reduction could give you. So more information you could find on the blog posts or into the documentation. And do you have any questions? Now somebody has any questions? Okay, you know what I would like to say, that it always scares me when nobody has questions. It means either everything is clear or nothing is clear.
Alexei, let's not scare you then. This is Nick. I'm a bit under the weather today. Gotta forgive the raspy voice here, but so the features that you covered were more the traditional security components for the database itself. It's just it would be working transparently for any employment of Big Data SQL is what you're saying, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. I was wondering, is there any additional stuff on the Hadoop side where you guys have done integration with, say, Sentry or Ranger or, the things like that? Or is it more just, separate and you can figure that separately and the access path determines security model?
Well, Big Data SQL will respect Sentry rules, and you could define some Sentry rules, and Big Data SQL will respect this. But only one thing, that right today, Big Data SQL work on behalf on Oracle database. And so we're gonna change this within maybe BDS 3.2, maybe later. So, and since this version, we will do mapping, which allow to use Sentry rules in more flexible way. Like, for example, I could log into database like Scott, and I will be John user on HDFS. I could log into database like Oracle, and I will be HDFS user on HDFS. And then I could use tools like Sentry, like Kerberos in full power. But right today, I would say we do recommend we do recommend to follow Oracle rules, Oracle security recommendations, which is relevant for relational databases.